So I just got done like 10 minutes ago watching the first episode for The Last of Us, the show on HBO. I love the game, so I was very excited for the show, especially because it's big budget. Everything I saw about it looked really cool. The trailers were great, so I was very excited for this. And now after seeing it, I can't wait for the rest of the season. Um, it's I think so far, I mean, it's only been one episode. It was an hour and 20 minutes, but honestly, that was like the fastest hour and 20 minutes I think I've felt watching something that was that long. Um, it's really good. Uh, I will say I have to take into consideration the fact that the game, it's a video game, so you can spend like hours, building up, doing something. And when it comes to a show, you kind of have to reduce it and, be able to fit it into one episode and make it pace well. And, you know, luckily this is a movie, not a show. I mean, this is a show, not a movie. So they can, they have time and room to kind of fit everything. But so far, I think what they were able to kind of put into the first episode, I think it's really well done. Um, the beginning where it's day one kind of and everything kind of goes crazy, the whole beginning is fantastic. The way it's done, it's intense, it's awesome. It's like it made me feel the exact same way I did when I originally played the game for the first time, seeing that crazy beginning. um and then you kind of move, there's the time jump. No, I'm not going to get into spoilers if you haven't seen it, which you should see it. Um but I think it changes enough from the game to where it doesn't feel like, why am I just, like, because I think a big concern with like adaptions of video games or reboots sometimes are the fact that it's like, oh, what's making me want to watch this and not just play the original game or just rewatch the original, it's like you don't want to feel like you're just watching cutscenes from the game, but you also don't want to feel like you're like it's, why call it The Last of Us if it's totally different. And I think this perfectly changes enough to where it feels like its own show, and you're still invested and don't feel like, oh, I've already seen this before, but also it's still faithful enough to the game to where you're like, yeah, this is The Last of Us. So like everything they've changed, everything they've kept, everything story wise, I think it's really, I guess it's the best they could possibly do. And it's great. And there's only so much you can put into an episode, even though it is an hour and 20 minutes. And in the beginning of the game, there's so much you kind of learn, and before things really start getting a move on. So it does feel a little bit fast in the first episode. Like you learn things and things move, and it's like it's quick, but I understand because there's so much to know and there's so much that happens in the game. You kind of have to kind of keep moving to kind of just not feel like you're just like you're just taking too long. Like this does have to feel digestible as a show, and I think they're doing it really well. So despite moving so fast kind of towards the end, but like I don't mind. I understand why they did that. And I think it's like, I honestly think this is the best possible way you could do The Last of Us in live action. And so far, just based off the first episode, I think it's in good hands. I think it's gonna be really well done. And so far, like it just feels like the game. The music, the tone, I think all the characters so far are really well, like they perfectly, like they feel like the characters are from the game. All the acting and stuff, it's really well done. And I'm very excited for episode 2. Like as soon as this episode ended, I'm like, man, that's it. Like I really just want to watch another episode already. So I'm very excited. I'm so glad the show was good. And yeah, that's all I got to say so far.